Paro is given the permission from HaKadosh Baruch Hu to start killing people. To start killing people when they don't meet their quotas, when they don't do what he commanded. But he sees that no matter what he does, he took advantage of them because it's measure for measure. They were greedy, HaKadosh Baruch Hu allowed them to get punished with greed. But no matter what he does, they continue to grow, as it says in chapter 1, in verse 20, God benefited the midwives and the people increased and became very mighty, meaning no matter what he does, even though they don't have any money, they're still having babies. They're still popping 6 babies at a time. So no matter what he does, it's not working as far as the numbers are concerned. He can put one baby policy all he wants, like in China, but it's not working. So now he starts getting even more scared, he becomes paranoid, and he passes a decree to start killing the babies. Start killing every boy. But then as the Torah says that at some point, ויצב פרעה לכל עמו לאמור, כל הבן, היילוד היאורה תשליכו, וכל הבן תחיון. וכל הבת תחיון. The Pasuk says in chapter 2, verse 22, Paro commanded his entire people, saying, every boy that will be born into the canal shall you throw him, and every girl shall you keep alive. Here, Rashi HaKadosh, Rashi that we cannot survive a single verse in the Torah without. Rashi says, look at this. He doesn't say every Hebrew boy, every Jewish boy. What does he say? Every boy. Meaning what? They were already killing some boys here and there before. But here it says every boy. Why? Rashi says, the Khartoumim, the necromancers, that were the advisors of that use witchcraft of Paro, told them, the boy that you've been scared of, that you've been paranoid against, that we saw in the stars that's going to be born and is going to destroy you, he was born. So Paro, without thinking twice, tells all of his soldiers, Yalla, kill every boy, meaning not just the Hebrew boy, not just the yeshiva boy, not just the secular Jewish boy. Every boy, meaning kill the Egyptians too, kill the Americans too, kill the English too, kill the Australians too, kill the Chinese too, meaning kill our own people too. Now, the question I had here is, hold on a second. Paro is a psychopath. Paro is one of these psychopaths, narcissistic people that's simply, on one aspect of it, he's smart and powerful. On the other hand, he's a psychopath, delusional person that's paranoid of his own shadow because of something that someone told him. He watched too many YouTube videos about conspiracy theories. He thinks that there is all types of UFOs ruling the world or something. And he says, listen, from now on, because there's a threat somewhere, there's some little, month-old baby, someone over there was just born, a day-old baby, so he's going to kill me, that baby. That's it. Kill every baby. Kill the Egyptians' baby. Kill the Jewish baby. Kill every baby. Now, him being a psychopath is fine. Okay, now he's not the first or the last. The question is, how did he get the Egyptian soldiers to do it on such a massive scale? That's the question that I asked. And you see, Rabotai, here we have to go and think like the Chachamim. What did the Chachamim tell us? What did the Chachamim tell us about what's happening here? About all types of other things that happen in the world when it becomes something that's controlled by your heart instead of your mind. Something that becomes a desire that's out of control to the point of addiction. What happens? You start seeing blurry vision. You start seeing things based on your feelings rather than based on your eyes. And since Paro was paranoid, he made his people paranoid, and he got them to kill the babies in the first place. In the beginning, they thought they were doing good. They were killing people for good. Why? They were killing only the Hebrews, only killing Bnei Israel. But after they killed enough babies They became like the Nazis, Imach Shemam V'Zichram, where they became desensitized from reality to the point where they started killing their own babies. And that's what Rashi says on the Makom. That's what Rashi says. They started killing Egyptian babies. Why? Because they became desensitized. They became numb to killing. Didn't matter whether it was a month-old baby, a 6-month-old baby, don't make a difference. Where else do we see this in society today? As you remember last night I told you that the Chachamim tell us, both in the Gemara, the Chachamim in just recent last couple of 100 years, where you have Rabbi Nachman in Breslev, says that the addiction that a person has to wasting seed can lead him to places that he could never imagine getting to, where his addiction to wasting seed can lead him to promiscuity with other people. When that's not enough, that promiscuity with other people is not enough, it leads him to a point of going with the same gender. Why? They want more taboo. More taboo. They start watching pornography, they waste seed, they want more taboo, they want to match what they saw on the screen. So, what they saw on the screen with one person, with another person is not enough, they want multiple. When that's not enough, they want the same gender. All types of animalistic behavior. When that's not enough, they start going to pornography with children, pornography with animals, and so on and so forth, which I'm sure it's going to be to your surprise, Baruch Hashem. You guys are all watching Shurei Torah, so surely you never saw, never dealt with anything, but perhaps even if you did, this is another reason of why we talk about it, to remind you that you can do tshuva and you should do tshuva, which is people literally acting out with animals and people that are actually watch these things, watch child pornography, watch bestiality. And when this is not enough, it could even lead a person to murder. How could wasting seed lead a person to murder? Now you should know first and foremost that this does not only pertain to men. The addiction to immorality pertains to women just as much as it does to men. Where I know from personal experience that I've had with people that we help, where they tell us all types of stories about their addictions and so on. And I could tell you that one of my students, Baruch Hashem, big tzadikah today, but she tells me, listen, you said something in one of your shulim, I want to tell you it's emet. I said, thank you, I know it's emet. The Chachamim said it. She said, no, I want you to tell you it's emet. I said, what do you mean it's emet? She said, listen, you said it pertains to men and women, this immorality. I said, yes. She said, listen, you said that when someone is immoral with themselves, with all types of masturbation, all types of other wasting seed, promiscuity, and so on, it's going to lead to worse things. I said, yes. She said, okay, you said eventually it's going to lead to animals. I said, yes. She says, well, listen, when I was a little girl, I got addicted to myself. And when that wasn't enough, since I wasn't near a lot of people, I started exploring all types of things, and at one point I tried to be intimate with an animal, with a cat. Hashem yishmor v'yatzil. Hashem yishmor v'yatzil. Hashem yishmor v'yatzil. She said, I can't believe that's what I did, thinking about it so many years after, and after doing tshuva and so on, but that's what's the truth. So I want to tell you, yes, it's true. When you are promiscuous, it leads you to a mind that's completely demented. Having intimacy with an animal becomes interesting. What's repulsive to both HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to mankind becomes something attractive to people that are taking their desire too far. And no one thinks they're going to start that way. And it also leads to murder. How? When a person is, as the Zohar Kadosh says, that a person that wastes seed is worse than a murderer because he's literally taking his own children, his own seed or his own children, and he's giving him to his enemy. There's no one more vicious than that. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, this person is a vicious person and he's going to be prosecuted in heaven if he doesn't do tshuva, if he doesn't do the tikkunim, as a mass murderer, a Hitler. Then you say, wait a minute, but I never learned this in yeshiva. Good, now you're learning. Yeah, well, what about the fact I didn't learn it until now? Okay, you didn't learn it until now. Now you're learning. Don't worry about yesterday. Worry about today. Don't worry about the food that you ate that made you fat. Worry about today. What's your diet today? Don't worry about what happened in the past. Worry about today. Now you're learning. Now you got to do it. The point is, Rabotai, is that a person can go through their whole life without knowing anything I just said, but now he's learning, and Baruch Hashem, now she's learning. They're doing tshuva. Just today I got a message from a woman. Says she grew up reform. Reform is worse than any other religion. And now, Baruch Hashem, she's doing tshuva. Now she's doing tshuva, she's reading books, she's watching the shulim, Yishtabach Shemo. If a person like that can do tshuva, anybody can do tshuva. That's what I say by myself. If I can do tshuva, anyone can do tshuva. And every single day we get more and more mail from people that are doing tshuva from our shulim. Why? Because they're hearing the truth and they know deep inside it's the truth, even if though it's hard to hear sometimes. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says to us in the Zohar Kadosh, that a person that we see, the person that's immoral, when it comes to sexuality, is a murderer, worse than a murderer. But furthermore, that person is not gonna be satiated if he doesn't start containing it, if she doesn't start containing it. And this is why you literally have young women in their teenage life, 18, 20, 25 years old. By the time she got to 30 years old, she already has had 50, 100 partners. Hashem Yishmol v'yatzil. Hashem Yishmol v'yatzil. May Hashem preserve us and save us from ourselves. You have young women, have 50 husbands, 100 husbands. If that's not bad enough, you have young men celebrating the fact that they have 2, 3, 4 new girlfriends, 4 new wives every week. By the time they're 20, 25 years old, they're celebrating their 100th birthday. Hashem Yishmol v'yatzil. People are celebrating this stuff. They don't understand how bad it is for them. And that's not enough. That's why we have so much homosexuality in this generation that's in public and in the filth. They're proud of it. They march about it. You're never going to see a heterosexual march. But the filthiest people on the planet, they march in pride. Why? They don't realize that what they're doing is poison. Poison for society, poison for their lives, poison for themselves. And if that's not bad enough, they've made it not only legal but celebrated, where they're allowing these animals that can't control themselves to talk about their sexuality literally, openly, in public. The things that are most sensitive to a human being, they talk about it in public proudly. They teach it to little children in kindergarten in the UK, in America, and other places. They teach them about homosexuality. They teach them about all these filthy behavior to people, and they think this is a good thing. We have that type of society. How? We got to it by not being able to control our desires, and we became desensitized. And Rabbi Nachman Breslov, alav Shalom, says, a person that goes that way, he's destroying his seed, he's committing murder. He gets used to committing murder, he wants to do more. He can never satiate enough, so he goes with the same gender, opposite gender, multiple, all types, cheats on his wife, cheats on her husband, cheating becomes standard, divorce becomes standard, remarrying 3, 4, 5, 6 times becomes standard, no big deal anymore. No one cries over a divorce. They cry about the money that they lost in the divorce, but not the actual person and the life they have. And the reality is society is breaking apart into pieces, to shreds. But this also leads to death, not just from disease, but also from murder itself. Why? Because we see Jeffrey Dahmer, the Charles Mason, and practically the leading sociopaths, the leading murderers over the last few hundred years have all admitted an addiction to pornography and the likes. An addiction to pornography and the likes as being the motivator for their obsession with killing people as a result of expressing their sexuality. How did they get that far? When you murder your own seed, you murder your own self, your own soul on a regular basis, little by little you become desensitized, just like the Egyptian soldiers were desensitized. You start seeing violent pornography as something that you are initially scared of, later on become attracted to, and eventually expect in your own house, in your own bedroom, in your own life. And when you can't get it, you force it. And that's what happens, Rabotai Karim. That's what happened to those people. That's what's happening every single day. And this is the reason why our society is breaking. Now, if you think that this is a new chidush for me, It's not. Why? Because the Gemara and the Tanakh already promised that this will be. Gemara, Masechet Nida, page 13a. Rabbi Yitzchak and Rabbi Ami Amrei. Rabbi Yitzchak and Rabbi Ami say, Ke'ilu shofech damim. When one wastes seed, it is as if he spills blood, meaning as if he murders. שנאמר, הנחמים באלים תחת כל עץ רענן שוחטה, הילדים בנחלים תחת צעיפי הסלעים. As it's stated in the book of Isaiah, chapter 57, verse number 5. Those who became warmed by the wood of the terebinths under every leafy tree, the slaughterers of children in the valleys, under the clefts of the rocks. Sages teach, don't read shochate, meaning the slaughterers of children as it's written, but rather as sochate, the extractors of children, meaning those who extract their semen and waste it, which could have become children. The same verse that talks about murdering children, the sages connect to wasting seed. Why? They say they are the same. But not a child, but rather children.